Welcome back to D. Loney V8 Motorsports. We have got a new guest. Cactus is his name, and this is his 71 Chevelle. We're going to walk around this thing, we're going to talk about it, we're going to show you some really old, really scary pictures of this thing. What do you have to say, Cactus? Anything?
I'm kind of anxious to see where it's going to go.
All right, we'll line up some questions for Cactus. George is doing some work on this thing. There's no engine in here, and so we'll show you that too. We'll talk about it. But first, cheers! It's Labor Day weekend.
So, as you're going to see in the video, this car has some ties that go pretty far back. That it's actually how we met Cactus, and through my dad and Cactus, and it's pretty cool stories. So stay tuned. It's going to be pretty neat. And hopefully it'll all get portrayed how it kind of went down, because it's pretty fun.
Absolutely. Watch to the end. You got to see the pictures of this thing and how it looked before.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yep. We'll be back.
Okay, we're gonna go through a few questions here with Cactus and this 71 Chevelle. So, what year did you buy this thing?
I got it in the spring of '84, my spring of my sophomore year in high school.
Wow. Okay. And so, where'd you find it?
Actually, there was a car lot on Main Street in Staten, and I had been looking for, I wanted a 68 that Ball Brothers Chevrolet in Staten, Turner had. My dad wouldn't let me buy it because it needed brakes and all the normal dad stuff. I looked at a couple 68s. I really wanted a 68. My mom found this one, and the price was right. It didn't have dual headlights, and when I was in high school, if it didn't have dual headlights, it wasn't a real muscle car.
Right. Okay. So you got it. You drove it.
You know?
What happened?
Well, typical high schoolers, you drive it, first thing that happens, I think the first weekend, a stereo went in it.
Okay.
You know, drove it all the way through senior year, transmission went out senior year, got it rebuilt. We were just talking, I had just put the 500 miles on it so I could go cruising that night and bang gears, and turned in front of somebody on the way to school and totaled the ass end of it out.
Nice. Okay. And again, we will be showing some photos of this thing and show you how it looked before. So what was the drivetrain? When you first got it, was it all stock, 350?
Stock, 307, 10
Oh.
brakes, turbo 350.
Okay.
10 bolt, 278s.
Okay.
Real screamer.
Nice. And so obviously it got wrecked, and we'll show the photos of that, but what is the current state? So clearly the engine's out of it. George is doing some freshening, but what's it got now?
Right now it still has the original turbo 350. The only update on that was we put a huge 3000 stall in it.
Okay.
I had a 12 bolt rear end built by my brother-in-law. The engine is it's the second 400 small block that's been in it. And that block is, probably because of me, is being fixed.
It needs freshening. Okay. So a little bit about the paint. So the wreck happened, right?
The wreck happened. I had a buddy that worked at his brother's automotive shop up in Sublimity. Came to school that day. I was in school, went to school with him and his brothers. The body from Firewall back, he came in, found me I looked at a 68 that day that somebody had. They wouldn't sell it to me. The body is a 72 SS body from the Firewall back. He found in a wrecking yard for $250. Had the dash, no interior. Had the rear bumper in the dash. Steering wheel I couldn't get, but so kind of that's how the SS stuff started. The guy that painted it the first time, worked in California, found the big block counter-ducted hood with all of the air cleaner, all the hookups for the throttle and everything. So
Nice. Okay.
So it just kind of slowly morphed, and the first time I painted, I didn't have stripes, still had a vinyl top. I didn't put any badges. I didn't want any SS badges on it because it wasn't, in my eyes, a real SS.
Yeah. But now, I mean, George Sr. painted this thing, so we'll
This-
show the photos of that, but now
This
it's
time
got
around,
everything.
I figured if I was gonna do it, the vinyl top wasn't going on, and I figured I was putting stripes on it this time.
Nice.
I didn't want bright white stripes. I wanted the same color the car was, and so
So the guy that painted it, George Sr., how did you meet him?
I had met his son through car shows and whatnot, and I'd gotten the car out, got it running. It needed full quarters. I pulled the vinyl top off one summer, been sitting with my parents. I pulled the vinyl top off the end of August. The top's wet and has holes all over in it. Obviously I'm depressed. My son's like 8 or 9 at the time. No, he was less, he was 4. And went to a couple car shows. He's wanting me to put the hood up like everybody else. And I'm like, anyway.
Come
So
on, Dad.
I start looking. I sold a street bike and said all the money's going towards the car. I said either that or we gotta sell it. I started researching it, and at that time they were just kind of coming out with those full quarters to go up to the factory seams. Talked to a couple guys and got the same hee-haw, hum kind of stuff going on, and
So what year was that roughly?
I believe it was 02.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, I was down at the shops. I'd gotten new exhaust put on it. And George Sr. pulled in. He had a 68 El Camino SS that he'd been working on. It had a full quarter on the back of it. Didn't really know him. I just knew it was Junior's dad. I walked up. We started talking. I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. I don't even know if I had the car there that day. I might have. Maybe it wasn't. It might have been at the shop. He walked up. I said, hey, this is what I need to do.
Can I interject?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
Oh, we have a guest.
Cactus went over to Tom's shop and was telling Tom, I'm trying to get my car restored. I can't find anybody that'll restore this car. And Tom goes, I know a guy that'll do it. Bring it over here. So they drove the car from Tom's shop to my dad's shop. And
How many yards?
Yeah. How far is that?
I don't know, from here to the
300,
mailbox.
300 feet? Yeah.
300 feet.
And then what did Dad say when he saw the
So,
car?
well, I had seen him, like I said, we were out in front of Junior's shop. We were just, nice. Anyway, I'm talking to him. I go, here's the deal. He looks at the car. He looks it over. To me, it was a no-brainer. Somebody knows how to weld and knows how to do body work. I'm getting the parts that should Lego back together. I just remember him looking at it. He was the first person I talked to that looked over the car. He looks me dead in the eyes and goes, I can do it. And I got this feeling like I'm getting right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And that was it. Other than looking at that El Camino and the panel on it, I hadn't seen any work. I didn't know if he could do it. But his response was, it nailed it.
Right. Yep. And you didn't know the legacy and
I
all
didn't
the
know.
Chevelles and
No.
all the history.
I spent
Yeah.
a lot of nights drinking beer, looking through booklets and seeing stuff that he had and
Yeah.
what he had done, and him and I became really good friends.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Well, we're going to do a walk around and show you this thing. It is a beautiful car. It's going to be back on the road real soon. But, and please stay to the end. Look at the pictures of how this thing looked when George Sr. got it. Yeah, tell us what the color is on this thing.
So this color is an 85 Cadillac color. Saw it at a car show when I was in high school, black cherry metallic. And when I went to paint a car, I was trying to think of colors, and I remember seeing that car and always liked the way it looked. I don't know if the car does the color justice because of the sharp lines, but we all know the old cars don't have the curved lines like a lot of the new stuff does. But
Well, and we're in a shop. If
Yeah.
we're not out in the sun, so it's going to look a little bit different. It looks black, right? But it's different than that. Yeah, it's beautiful. All right. Well, thanks, Cactus. We're going to walk around this thing and stay to the end and check out the pictures. It's awesome.
in my pickup, I bought my